AIM-listed TriStar Resources is an integrated antimony processing company with assets in Turkey, Canada and Oman. Guy Eastaugh is Chief Executive and he joins us now. Guy, welcome.
Thank you.
When doing the research for this interview, I knew a little bit about antimony, but I was surprised as to how far-reaching its applications are. Update us on exactly, first of all, what it is that antimony's got, and a little bit more about what it is that TriStar interests are in this area.
Well, antimony is not a major metal, it's a minor metal, it's not a precious metal. Has annual production of around about 180 to 200,000 metric tons a year. And it's used primarily in flame retardant applications, in upholstery and furniture and seat covers, that sort of thing. But also increasingly it's been used in semiconductor industry as a dopant, which is an additive that you use to improve properties of other materials.
Looking through the assets that you've got on the balance sheet, on the business, you've got, as I said, Turkey, Canada and Oman. I'm most interested in Oman, which it certainly seems to be where the main news is at the moment. Update us on where you are with this, because you've had a placing in the summer. It seems like you're well cashed up to go with this.
Well, we've been working hard with our joint venture partners over 2 years in Oman to create the roaster project. We call it the OIR, the Oman Antimony Roaster Project. And we achieved financial close in the summer of this year. And the joint venture, Strategic and Precious Metals Processing LLC, quite a mouthful, but we own 40% of that company. And it is that company that's developing a 20,000 metric ton facility, refining facility in Oman, which we hope will be on stream by the end of 2017. Our interest in that is 40%, and that equates to a $6 million equity investment that we made on the back of the successful placing in August. But the joint venture itself has raised a total funding package of $70 million US dollars that will enable it to build out the facility over the next 2 years.
My understanding is, though, despite the fact you as a company only own 40%, the other 60% is actually split between 2 other interested parties. So it's not you have a dominant feature particularly necessarily.
We have a very significant interest. M&I, who was the CEO of TriStar before me, he's now the CEO of the joint venture, and he remains on our board as deputy chairman. I'm now the CEO of TriStar Resources. We don't control the joint venture, but we have a very, very significant interest, and we actively manage our stake in the joint venture. And we work very, very closely with our 2 joint venture partners, the Oman Investment Fund and a large trading business in Dubai.
Looking forward, you say you've got this money on the balance sheet now, and my understanding is, I think, just to re-emphasise what it was you were saying about 2017 being a target date for production, what needs to be done before you get there, and is the money that you got now on the balance sheet sufficient to take you right the way through to the first delivery?
Yes, we're fully funded. The project has been costed over the last 2 or 3 years. We've done a lot of independent work in establishing the overall project price. There is much to do over the next 2 years. The appointment of an EPCM contractor and the build phase will start next year. But we think a two-year build program is certainly realistic, and we hope to have it commissioned by the end of 2017.
And to be sure, for anybody looking at this interview thinking it looks like an attractive proposition in terms of investment potential, do you have an exit strategy, or do you intend to run right the way through with this into production and beyond?
Our priority right now is to focus on managing our stake in SPMP. We have assets in Turkey and Canada, but our focus in terms of the cash that remains on our balance sheet after the investment, the initial investment, is to maintain our business so that we can continue to work with SPMP to bring the roaster on stream. So that's our priority, absolutely number 1. Once the roaster is up and running and creating a product, the next step for the joint venture will be to look at refractory gold. Much of the world's gold reserves are tied up in a refractory matrix, which makes them very difficult to get at. And our antimony process can be applied to refractory gold. So the next step after the antimony plant is up and running would be to look at perhaps a major expansion into refractory gold. But that's for down the line. Right now the focus is on delivering the antimony plant.
What do you say to potential investors as well about the share price, where the market cap is, bearing in mind you will have a plant that's going to produce, what, 20,000 tonnes
20,000 metric tonnes
a year. The current market cap, which is relatively low compared to the potential.
Well, you know, we're trading around about the placing price of the summer, which is understandable. I think that the market is waiting for news flow, and obviously we will be delivering news flow as it arises. and we'll be updating shareholders and the market as often as we can with the material developments occurring at the joint venture, which is really where the interest of our shareholders lies in terms of delivering value in the future for the company.
So what do you see as the headlines then in 2016 from Oman particularly?
During 2016, I hope you will see us announcing significant steps in Oman in terms of physical delivery of kit, building out of the team, the appointment of contractors, and real physical progress on the ground at our site in Sohar.
Talk a little bit as well about the other assets, which we haven't yet detailed. Where are you with those? Clearly Oman, I know, is the big issue, big project for you at the moment. What about Turkey and
Well, the key
Turkish
focus
Canada?
is Oman, and husbanding the resources and management time and finances that we have to make sure that that's a success. We are reducing our footprint in Canada, but we're maintaining our key assets out there. And we have a mine in Turkey, which is currently not producing, but we maintain that as is, and we'll see about that in the future. But at the moment, the key focus is on developing the project in Oman.
And that's where the value is in the share price.
And I think that's where the market sees the value in TriStar. Definitely is the future prospect down the line of cash flow from the roaster project. Yes.
Well, look, Guy, good luck with everything and keep us up to date with what's going on. That's Guy Eastaugh. He is the Chief Executive of TriStar Resources.